about?
Basically, every crime reform that has happened in this country, he's the one that did it.
A few things with student debt. I haven't really been keeping up on anything, so me either.
I feel like he's doing fairly well.
The forgiveness loans are definitely probably his biggest movement.
Ouch. He's managed to guide the economy.
Campaigning next to you, pardon on federal marijuana offenses, that affected absolutely nobody.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know.
Negative goals of destructing. I have no idea.
As far as COVID went, I think it got really under control after he took over.
Giving away a lot of money to Ukraine. It's hard to think of any.
People would probably say the student loan forgiveness if that actually goes through.
It's not so volatile as it was before.
Joey B. Okay, so he did say he's gonna, I haven't seen it yet on my account, but the $10,000 is student loan debt. Student loan forgiveness in the future.
So how about those Yankees, huh?
I can't see the answer to that because I didn't follow Biden.
Even some of the bills they passed, there's a lot of things in it that I probably don't like. Student debts relief, helping Ukrainians.
New hearing aids.
I haven't really seen any accomplishments. We're working on it.
That hasn't been spoken about.
Basically, every crime reform that has happened in this country, he's the one that did it.
A few things with student debt. I haven't really been keeping up on anything, so me either.
I feel like he's doing fairly well.
The forgiveness loans are definitely probably his biggest movement.
Ouch. He's managed to guide the economy successfully despite what his political enemies are saying.
The Infrastructure Act.
I just don't know.
It's jobs. I don't know too many of his accomplishments. Probably the Inflation Reduction Act.
To lead from more medium, if you can say that, a medium point of view.
Everything that he's done so far is for the people.
Continuing to send out the relief checks to cause all this inflation.
I think he inspires a sense of unity.
I think that they've done quite a good job with climate.
Administering of COVID vaccines.
Infrastructure was good.
I don't think anything. I'm sorry.
Got lost a lot, but other than that, I don't know.
Warnock votes with Joe Biden 96% of the time, and that act is getting old. NRSC is responsible for the content.
This hour-long debate was perhaps the worst I have ever witnessed. Polls, which oversample Democrats as it is, have already flipped in favor of Dr. Oz. I had no idea about Fetterman mooching off of his parents till he was 50 years old. Fetterman used to be almost 9 points ahead of Oz back in August. My, how the tables have turned. I would ask, is this really the guy that Dems want to run to flip this seat? And I guess I have to say that's rhetorical because they did the same thing with Joe Biden, who is in significant mental decline. They are running bad candidates. Look up in Ohio, where J.D. Vance blistered Tim Ryan and is enjoying a nice lead. And while the governor's race in New York would seem to tilt heavily for any Democrat, Lee Zeldin is nipping at the heels of Kathy Hochul. We have to see how that turns out. And they've thrown the kitchen sink at Herschel Walker in Georgia, but he still looks better than Raphael Warnock. You have some out there like pollster Frank Luntz, who think the Dems will retain the Senate, and some, like Newt Gingrich, who think Republicans will take a 7-seat majority. I'm somewhere in between that. But in all honesty, John Fetterman is not fit to be a U.S. Senator. This was one of the most painful debates I have ever watched, if not the most. And I don't say this with schadenfreude of delighting in his poor health. It is sad. But many early voters have already cast their ballot prior to seeing this debate. But what is sadder is the way the DNC has allowed this, and how Nexstar's moderators tried to handicap this debate to make it easier on him.
History, it just seems to be repeating itself here in Maricopa County. We're seeing the same thing that happened during the 2020 presidential election play out again in 2022. It's almost like the twilight zone outside of Maricopa County. They can't seem to know how to run elections smoothly. The election happened on Tuesday. It is now Monday, and there are still hundreds of thousands of ballots left to be counted, and the voters are fed up, which is why they have been protesting sporadically outside of the Maricopa County Election Center because they feel disenfranchised. When they went to the polls on Tuesday, They were told that the machines were down, and some of them waited for hours, almost all day, just to vote. And the machines were down in more than 26 locations in Maricopa County. So they do not believe that the county is being transparent. So they showed up, and there were warnings for people not to show up to protest outside of Maricopa County in fear that they would be labeled January 6th insurrectionists. But what I witnessed on the ground were peaceful protesters. They marched with American flags. They sang Christian music, and they just expressed that the United States needs to have more election integrity. And what I witnessed on the ground, the United States elections has just changed so much. There is fencing that was erected around the premises. There are sheriffs, dozens of sheriffs manning the fencing. And there is a drone flying above that is surveilling the public. So you have to ask, how did the United States turn into kind of third world country style elections?
Katie, they obtained a statement from the Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters on Sunday. It says the discarded ballots were found along with non-election mail, including letters and parcels. The Registrar of Voters is encouraging people to track their votes online to make sure they reach their destination. The postal inspector is processing the ballots as evidence. They will then be given to the elections office to be counted. And zooming out to the national scale, Democrats are projected to keep control of the Senate, but the House is still up for grabs. NTD's Jessica Beatty has more.
Democrats are keeping the Senate after winning battles in Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer responded to results Sunday.
This is a very happy day.
Senator Catherine Cortez Masto's victory in Nevada Saturday gave Democrats the 50 seats they needed to keep the Senate. Schumer said Democrats want to get a lot done in the next 2 years.
It's a difficult world out there. Things are changing so rapidly. People are worried about their future and their children's future. They want us to roll up our sleeves and get things done, and that's what our caucus intends to do.
The last question.
The HEROES Act was not put together for college students. That was for Gold Star families and families of first responders that died in the line of duty. That's what the HEROES Act is about. After 9/11, yeah, that's what it was about. Not for what they're trying to use it for now.